Have you ever thought why those attractive Sigma females don't seem to want to talk to you? Hold on tight, because we're about to get into the reasons behind their behavior. People are drawn to these women's unique charm, but if you feel forgotten, you're probably not the only one. Together, let's figure out what the Sigma female mind is really like and why they might be staying away from you. Get ready for a trip that isn't like any other and will help you understand what makes Sigma women tick. Now, a Sigma female will not think twice about ghosting or ignoring you if she feels the need to. People often mistake her obvious lack of interest in anything for arrogance, and sometimes that assumption is correct. But a Sigma female might not be paying attention to you for many reasons, some of which might not even be personal. Before you jump to conclusions, you should think about these 10 reasons why Sigma females might choose to avoid you. Sigma women think that some people are not interesting. You may notice that Sigma women tend to keep to themselves or be quiet when they're with other people. This isn't because they're being cold or distant. It's just that they don't find most of the talk interesting. Sigmas don't like small talk or looking for approval through social interactions like other people do. They have a different way of talking to people. If a Sigma female doesn't want to talk about something informally, it's likely because they don't find it interesting. They don't want to talk about unimportant things just to fit in or get praise. It's not about being cocky, it's about putting content over appearance. Some people judge their own worth by how well they're accepted by their friends and family, but Sigmas don't need other people's approval to feel good about themselves. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. It doesn't change how they feel about themselves. They think things through on their own and don't feel the need to follow social norms or constantly connect with others to feel validated. Because of this way of thinking, Sigma women tend to be drawn to deeper talks that start with shared interests. Sigmas can have long, deep conversations about things they're really interested in if you can find something you have in common with them. Rather than having shallow conversations, they enjoy getting to know people on a deeper level. But if you and a Sigma female don't like the same things, you might find them shy or quiet in social situations. When this happens, it's important to know and accept that they'd rather talk about important things than small talk. If you accept they're quiet, it doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means they don't want to talk about things that don't interest them. Some personality traits are unpleasant for women. You might be asking why a Sigma female seems to be avoiding you or giving you the cold shoulder. It could be because of parts of your personality that don't quite fit with theirs. Compare a Sigma female to the best athlete in their area. They are driven by high standards, which act as an internal compass to help them reach their goals. In other words, they've developed good character traits like focus and a strong work ethic. They don't just hold themselves to these standards, they expect everyone around them to do the same. They might be quick to judge someone if they think that person hasn't worked hard to improve themselves. Sigmas are aware that no one is perfect. They're not looking for perfect people to be friends with. But they do have limits, especially when it comes to how they act. For example, a Sigma female will not like it if you complain a lot. They don't tend to think about bad things all the time. Instead, they choose to focus on important things and keep a positive attitude about life. Don't be surprised if a Sigma female starts to avoid you if you're always complaining about your problems or looking at things negatively. Additionally, Sigmas are known for being daring and ready to take risks, whether they're doing extreme sports, starting businesses, or going on trips around the world. They love breaking rules and looking for new things to do. Sigma women might find it hard to connect with people who like to play it safe and don't like to leave their comfort zone. They like people who are brave and take the lead, so if you're afraid of taking risks, they might not agree with you and will put other links ahead of yours. Third on our list, you brag too much. If someone is always talking about how great they are, they may be an alpha or gamma type. These people often lie about their accomplishments to make other people feel good about themselves. Alphas need people to admire and respect them more than anything else. It's like air to them. It makes them feel like they're dying without it. So when they brag, it's usually because they like the way it makes them feel good to be successful and get praise for it. During times of stress, they may stretch the truth a bit, but they really think they are special people. Omegas, on the other hand, brag because they're not sure of themselves. If they don't like their real lives, they might try to make themselves look better by making up stories or inflating what they've done. They do it to try to look better and hide the fact that they feel bad about themselves. Let's go into the Sigma now. Sigmas don't need to show off their accomplishments like alphas and gammas do. They don't like to hog the spotlight or talk about all the great things they've done. This is so true that many people may not even know how great a Sigma female is because they don't push it. If you try to compliment them, they'll probably ignore you. Because of this, Sigma might start to feel bored or uninterested when they are around people who can't stop talking about how great they are. It's like being stuck in a show they've seen 100 times before. They would rather do something else. Number 4 on our list, a Sigma woman is always busy. Have you ever seen a Sigma female who looks as calm as a sloth on a sunny day, but whose brain is as busy as a squirrel on caffeine? They look calm on the outside, but their minds are racing faster than a baby after a sugar rush. That's the Sigma charm. They're like those fancy sports cars that start their engines at every red light, always ready to go on an adventure. Some people seem calm, but they are actually very busy, like a squirrel getting ready for winter. They are chasing their dreams with all the drive of a child chasing an ice cream truck. Because of this amount of intensity, Sigma females naturally have busy lives. They're always moving, taking on tasks and taking advantage of chances. So don't think that a Sigma female is ignoring you just because you haven't heard back from them after sending them an email or text. They're probably just juggling a lot of different responsibilities and tasks. Part of what makes a Sigma female so interesting is that they keep you on your toes because they're unexpected. Part of their charm is that you never know what they'll do next. If you want to be friends with a Sigma female, you should know that they may disappear for a while because they are very busy. Don't worry though, they'll come back to the top eventually, ready to get back into the action. 5th on our list, trust must be won. Sigma women have a special way of getting people to trust them that makes them stand out. Sigma women don't care about flashy welcomes or smooth talk. Actions speak louder than words to them. They don't believe everything people say. Instead, they carefully watch how people act over time to see how trustworthy they are. So, if you want to win the trust of a Sigma female, you'll need more than just a nice personality or great arguments. They want acts that are consistent, dependable, and show character and honesty. They will watch how you act in different settings and write down your strengths and weaknesses. If you want to fool a Sigma female, you should not try to, because they are very good at seeing through masks. Being real and honest is the most important thing to them. Because they don't trust easily, Sigmas tend to keep their close friends small and tight-knit, often with people they've known for years. Someone from Sigma may not include you in their group of friends, or feel like they are ignoring you because they haven't had enough time to get to know you yet. In these situations, the best thing to do is show that you can be trusted by acting in a steady, reliable way over a long period of time. Self-discipline and a strong work attitude are traits that a Sigma female will definitely notice. They quickly notice people who do what they say they will do and will remember how reliable you are. You might earn a spot in a Sigma female's inner group over time if you do not give up and are patient. 6th, Sigma women get lost in their own thoughts. Have you ever been with a Sigma female who just seems to be lost in their own thoughts? and not aware of what's going on around them. They might not be avoiding you on purpose. They could just be deep in thought, working on a creative puzzle or problem. Some people find it hard to think creatively, but for Sigma ladies, it comes naturally. They like to get deep into intellectual tasks and aren't afraid to take on creative projects head-on. A Sigma female can get so lost in their thoughts that they don't notice what's going on around them, like an artist who is focused on their work. If you feel pushed to the side by a Sigma female who is deep in thought, don't take it personally. They could just be stuck on a creative problem that needs their full attention. No, they're not ignoring you on purpose. They just need some time to think about what they should do and come up with a plan. When this happens, you need to be patient. If you give that Sigma female some space to think, they'll probably come back to reality once they've found a way to be artistic. And who knows, once they get out of their mental maze, they might even share their exciting new ideas with you. When you're talking with a Sigma female, you should know that they don't easily change their minds when you try to tell them what to believe. Sigma women carefully consider their views, depending on reason and logic to help them decide what they believe. It's a shame that some people try to force their views on others, whether they're about religion, politics, or even something as seemingly unimportant as sports. When people don't agree with them, they might use threats or shame to get what they want. With a Sigma female, on the other hand, these strategies are most likely to fail. So, you see, Sigmas don't react well to tries to control their emotions or be socially dominant. It doesn't work to try to scare or shame them into believing something. It's like trying to push a rock uphill. Sigma females can avoid the negative emotions that often come with success by keeping a sense of distance. This can help them deal with things like the anger and jealousy of people who want what they have. It's not making sense for you. In the world of how people act, thinking isn't always the most important thing. We all act irrationally sometimes, but for some people, reasoning is a bigger part of making decisions than for others. For example, the person who goes into debt because they eat too much fast food, or the person who stays in a job that doesn't lead anywhere, even though they have more potential. These are just a few examples of crazy things people do in their daily lives. Here comes the Sigma female. This personality type values logic over gut or emotional responses. The people who carefully plan out how to reach their goals are the planners and goal setters. Decisions made on the spot? It's not their style. Sigma women like to have good reasons for what they do and carefully consider the pros and cons before taking a step. Irrational choices can get in the way of a Sigma female's work. Since they are usually the most logical person on the team, they expect their co-workers to think about problems in the same way. If you do anything less, the Sigma female might get angry and frustrated. Sigma females are firm in their belief that logic is best, even in their personal lives. If someone's crazy behavior causes issues, a Sigma female probably won't feel sorry for them. Instead, they expect people to think critically and come up with better goals to help them deal with their problems. For a Sigma female, life is all about making plans and following them through step by step. But if someone doesn't organize their life in a reasonable way, Sigma females might take it personally and choose to stay away from them. Being heartless isn't the point. The point is to value practicality and speed in all areas of life. If you don't agree with those values, a Sigma female might choose to put their energy somewhere else. 10th, you're being too much of a bossy woman. I did say it. There is often a complicated mix of competition and rivalry between Sigma females and Alpha females, especially in areas like business, sports, and everyday life. Even though they may have some things in common, their goals and ways of doing things are very different, which can cause problems from time to time. In a work setting, for example, the alpha female is often the CEO or most important person. Of course, as the boss, they expect their workers to follow their orders and treat them with care. It's just how things are. Keeping their self-esteem high as the alpha figure is important to them, and any challenge to their power can hurt them badly. Alphas are very aware of where they stand in society and are alert to anything that could hurt their reputation. An alpha female's power doesn't mean much to a sigma female, though, because she doesn't care much about social orders. There are reasons and goals that drive sigmas, and they don't bend the knee to someone just because of their position. This difference between what the alpha wants and what the sigma wants can cause problems, especially if the alpha female expects the sigma female to always do what she says. The sigma female subordinate won't blindly follow directions if they think they don't make sense or are unreasonable. If a sigma female is avoiding you, it could be because you think they are below you. Sigmas don't do well when they are told what to do or told what to expect. They like to make decisions on their own. If you're an alpha female and think a sigma female will always do what you say, get ready for some sadness. It's important to understand and accept each other's goals and ways of doing things, even if they are different. Click here to watch why sigma females are the furthest thing from normal. See you there in a second. Be stoic, stay stoic,